Strength and blessings out there. This is executive creator Alexander Asafa of Brotherhood Language, approaching conversation kinetically about fiction, aka Black AF. I'm here to tell you about the Anchor app. Let me explain. Let's get right to it. Number one, the Anchor podcast app is free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many, many more. You can make money from your podcast right now with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right now. This is Brotherhood Language, approaching conversation kinetically. My name is Alexander Asafa, and this is Black as
Brotherhood Language, approaching conversation kinetically about fiction. This is Black as
B. Walt, you ready? You should say something because no one can hear Skin 30. No one can hear Skin 30.
Oh, it's Skin 44, motherfucker.
Did you see my eyes? Like,
no, that whatever you got going on in the background is blurring your face a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, this is Fist of the North Star.
It's the glow. Yeah, it's got a glow.
Well, since I've been booted out of our account, I don't have access to those backgrounds right now. And as you said, it's 6:44. So, yeah. Anywho, Brotherhood Language, approaching conversation kinetically about fiction. I'm black as fuck. B. Wall is black as fuck. Mondays are black as fuck. Welcome to Black as Fuck. Appreciate y'all having us. The 31 people. We got a few new subscribers this week, B. Wall. We got like 9 new ones, for real.
I don't feel like working today. I ain't come here to work.
That's your response to the good news that we got more people listening and watching?
I ain't come here to work. I'm going to just stand back and look like a goon. You know what I'm saying? In the 90s hip-hop videos and shit, the thug, I'm going to be that today.
Okay, sure. Murder Inc. Forever and ever. Okay, right.
Murder.
Well, how you doing over there? How's the headquarters?
All right, it's cool. Chilling. Know what I'm saying? Holding it down. Know what I mean? By myself. On the block. Yeah, we're good. But I ain't come here to work. It's Memorial Day. It's a vacation. It's my day off. So don't be expecting me to give you insight and just general funniness and shit like that. It's just not gonna happen today. It's just it's my day off. I ain't
Craig,
coming
you
here to
done?
work.
Are you done, Craig? Craig, are you done?
Continue.
BQ, the hoodlum. That is a fake ass rapper. BQ, the hoodlum.
I like the nigga they use on the Burger King commercials. Remember they had that
right?
That
His cousin
DJ? Remember they had that DJ on the Burger King commercial, Super Dupe, back in the day? I feel like his name was Super Dupe, nigga. Look the shit up. I feel like his homie would be whatever you just said, BQ the rapper.
BQ the rapper, cousin to Blinky Blink, straight off the Rugrats soundtrack. Anyway, that'll never get old to me. I don't care what anybody says.
Look up Super Dupe when you get off. When we done with this, I'm not kidding you. They had Burger King Super Dupe DJ. That was his name, Super Dupe. He still can't go to the hood no more. He still can't go to the hood.
It sounds like some mob stuff that's happening in Shy, so we're gonna leave all that alone.
He still can't. I'm telling you, homeboy still can't go to the hood. That shit came out at least 20 years ago.
Super Dupe.
He living down in Florida with that. He living down in Florida with that white boy that fucked up the Cubs winning the World Series way back when. What's his name? Steve Bartow. them niggas got it too flat because he can't go back to the hood. Super Duke, the Burger King DJ, bro.
You just gonna name infamous Chicago civilians?
I don't know if he's from the shot. Nah, I just remember seeing the commercial when I was still in the shot. Super Duke, the Burger King DJ. Look at that.
Right on. Just so you know, you giving them this dude that's 20 years old at minimum like 4 good minutes to Black as Fuck time. So there's that.
Black as Fuck started 15 minutes late, so I feel like I could take 4 extra minutes to talk shit about.
Talk about Super Duke
DJ, nigga.
Oh, the transgressions. Well, that's enough about him and the other guy. White people. A week ago, it was reported that HBO was doing a second season of The Watchmen, according to We Got This Covered. B. Walt, is this a good idea or a bad idea? I'm going to go back to Animaniacs on you right now.
We won't know if it's a good idea until we see it. In theory, it's a good idea, but as good as The Watchmen was, you kind of want to leave it alone. You don't want to see a follow-up. However, the way they left it, could do a very good follow-up. You could do a very good follow-up. So it really depends on execution. I think we need to call, what's the name, and have him get involved early. Snyder?
Who's that?
Snyder, king of the miniseries.
The guy that's showing people how to direct on the YouTube Netflix channel.
Right.
You want this to be gray to set a tone. And then you want this to be darker than the gray to set the tone that you set. But I think this is a absolutely bad idea. Because, well, one of the reasons, because you just pointed out, the showrunner from the first season is nowhere near this project. He's working on something else. And there's been no actual news or anything specific from HBO themselves. So this is something that you and I discussed on several shows years ago before COVID. And, still to this day, Watchmen is one of the best shows I've ever seen.
How long ago did the original come out?
That was 2019, bro.
Okay, that's been a while.
Yeah, like almost 2 years in a while. Like we're hitting that corner. And I'm really mad you just sent me a text about Super Dupe in the middle of this Watchmen segment.
I thought I was making this shit up, bro. We need a minute. We need a minute of comic relief, and that is it. The nigga looked like Jim Jones. He looked like Jim Jones.
I'm definitely not looking at that anytime soon, just because of that. I'm not balling. So
he looks just like dude, homie. You're gonna look at it. You're gonna look at it.
I think they should leave it alone. They should not touch it because they can't match up to the first one. There's nothing. Because then if the second one's going to go kind of stale, kind of mediocre, and then they have to come and do a third one, which might redeem, might not. I think better is left alone. And also, we got some other news coming up. Regina King might be busy. So I might as well just jump right into that. It was told to her, it was reported to her while she was, I think, on MSNBC. She was doing an interview, and they reported to her that she's on the short list of potential directors to do the reboot to Superman with J.J. Abrams and Ta-Nehisi Coates, who is somebody else we're going to be talking about later down the show. Now, we're Regina King fans. Your thoughts, B. Walt?
I'm a Regina King fan, but I don't like Superman. So I hope she get it just so she can put that cred on her long list of accomplishments. Sure. But fuck Superman. I don't give a fuck if the nigga black. I don't care if he's from Krypton. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't like Superman. I don't like the mythos behind Superman. Fuck Superman. He could be Michael B. Jordan. He could be Henry Cavill. He could be fucking Christopher Reeves. He could be Keanu motherfucking Reeves. But I don't fuck with Superman.
Or people named Reeves.
No, I love Keanu Reeves. And I love Regina King. You know this. We've had this conversation before. As a matter of fact, it's probably documented because we said it on the show. But I don't like Superman. The best story to me about Superman was this. The death of motherfucking Superman. I hate Superman.
That's right.
Yeah, I got audio visuals and fucking presentations and shit like that. Fuck Superman. Hey, Skinny. Fuck Superman. Just, you know.
Just to send it home, right? Just to set it straight.
No, I don't. I mean, I understand here without Superman, nothing else would exist. Fine. But now that it does, fuck Superman. Like, fuck Superman.
In a way, I agree with you wholeheartedly. But you know what? It's, to me, I think they're forcing all this blackness on Superman. This isn't like organic. This isn't natural. This doesn't feel genuine. It's just kind of like, let's get as many popular, creative black people as we can to do this reboot. And I don't know if it's really going to help because it just comes off that way. Like Ta-Nehisi Coates, obviously I'm a fan of his. Before he started doing Black Panther, J.J. Abrams, he gave us the reboot to Star Trek. You know how I feel about that. I watched that 2 weeks ago. And Regina King is literally Riley and Huey Freeman above everything else she's already done. So, you know, I don't like the project overall. My feelings about Superman are one thing, but this project in particular, I just don't, it's got a bad vibe to me. It's like they're making this, it's kind of like a makeup call. Like it's Training Day. It's Denzel's Oscar for Training Day. Like it doesn't seem like they really are making a genuine story. They're just trying to make a story as black as possible to garner a certain amount of business and attention. And I hope for that reason she doesn't get on board. Ta-Nehisi's already on. If she gets on, I think it will help the project for sure. But I'm not really keen on how they're going about making this happen. Because even the black Superman that they're using isn't one of the ones that's canon from their own comic book. They're just making Clark Kent black. It's like, what color do you want your Superman to be? So that's my biggest issue regarding that.
I read somewhere that they said scientifically, because of the powers that Superman has, he would have to have had melanin in him, therefore Superman would have been black. It would have made sense. However, that being said, the story of Superman is stupid to me. It's just absolutely fucking stupid. He was so powerful, they had to write in something to hurt it. Like, that's fucking dumb. Dumb.
I agree. I mean, we talked about Superman in droves. So, like, it's just, I'm just going to go segue right into the next one because Henry Cavill was on this list. He's told WB, it's either now or never you make me Superman or not. I need to know because I'm either about to do this Witcher 3 or become the next Highlander. So,
which seems quite similar to each other, but okay.
Absolutely. Christopher Lambert's rolling over in his bed right now. No Raid, no Highlander. He's like, what happened to the 90s? Nah. What color do you want your Superman to be, though, B. Walt? That's the real question here. Like, seriously.
I don't give a fuck about Superman. And to be honest with you, my favorite Superman that I've seen up to this point, if I had to pick one, would be Henry Cavill, whatever. So, but the thing about Superman is the character is fucking bland. You can put anybody in that character and it will work. Like any decent actor can be Superman. Yeah. Anybody. Like Superman is trash to me. All the other surrounding characters in the Superman universe are more interesting than Superman. Every single
That's right.
one of them.
You read Superman.
I like the clone of Superman. I remember when Superman died and they came out with that series with all the people who were trying to be Superman after Superman left. Those
Man
characters
of Steel,
were more
Superboy,
interesting than Superman.
Hank Henshaw. Yeah.
Fuck Superman. Like, I don't care who they make Superman. You know who they should make Superman? Just to make it a fucking a test to see how good they can do it. They should make that the little guy from Game of Thrones, because I love him as an actor. Make him Superman. And I'm not joking. He's one of my
knows things.
I'm not joking. He's one of my favorite actors. Make him Superman.
If you want to stir some shit up, huh? Like you're gonna change it up?
Yeah, he's legit one of my favorite actors.
He's one of my favorite actors. Henry Cavill is in one of my favorite movies, The Count of Monte Cristo. And I also agree with you in terms of like Blue Boys. I think he's super solid. And going back to my point with the previous topic is Henry Cavill did nothing wrong to not be able to be Superman, like other than not being black, which is defeats the fucking purpose. Like, he was a solid actor, as you've already pointed out, and I agree with you. The Snyder cut of him beating on Steppenwolf like his little cousin, like, that's all Superman needs to do, like, period. And he did it. I hadn't seen a legit Superman moment other than that one in the last 8 years. So, and he shouldn't be out of a job because they just all of a sudden want to make the character black. Like, there's something really wrong with that, in my opinion.
You're having an issue because it feels to you like they are pandering to the black community.
100%, and it's forced, and that just going back to that.
I would much rather. Okay, so I would much rather there be characters that are developed that are black that deviate from what they usually do with characters that they develop that are black. How many characters we gonna have just black that got electricity powers?
All of them.
All of them got it. How many characters we got that are black that got that Afro sheen, wavy, curly hair shit? All of them. Like,
just about all of them. Depends on what age.
Like, if you're trying to get into the comic game and start developing a mythology that's around black characters, create some dope black characters. Or, you know what, because there are some out there and lesser known comic book companies, or whatever you want to call them, right? Highlight that shit. But leave Superman. Who gives a fuck Superman? Like, fuck Superman. You know?
Yeah.
The T40 or whatever the first car was called, ain't nobody driving that shit no more. And we got all these different types of cars. We got hybrids. We got this, that, and the third. Give Superman and the creators of Superman the respect for creating the comic book genre. Fine, but put the nigga away. Superman is trash. Fuck Superman. Back when he came out, it made sense for a character like that to exist. I mean, the climate of the world, it made sense to have this guy who was basically the embodiment of what Americans thought they were. Fine, but
white Americans, minority whites.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, immigrants.
He's not relevant anymore, and the storyline is just not cool. It's not good. Fuck Superman, dude. Like, fuck him.
Yeah. I don't think
this work. You got me working, nigga. I told you I ain't come here to work today. You got me working.
I brought up Superman, and now you feel like you're working.
Make Peter, I'm telling you, I'm not kidding when I say this. Peter Dinklage is one of my favorite fucking actors. Make Peter Dinklage Superman, and I'm all for it because I watch anything that he's in. He's great.
let's move on.
He was in Nip Tuck back in the day. He was in Nip Tuck back in the day, and he seduced one of the doctor's wives, man. Like, and I was like, that shit is related. Peter Dinklage, I love him. And I'm not just saying that to be funny. He's my favorite character in Game of Thrones, and every time I see him, he puts in a performance that's very memorable. I mean, even in the X-Men movies, when he was in that shit, he was one of my favorite characters because the movies was trash, but he stood out. Like, it was like, okay, Peter Dinklage. Yeah, there we go.
You didn't like Days of Future Past, the movie?
It's okay.
Right.
But it's X-Men, so all of that shit that's Sony, right? C+. But out of that,
yeah, that's Fox. That was Fox. That was Fox.
So out of all of that, Peter Dinklage was one of my favorite performances. Yes. That's trash. Yes.
Well, like you said, I mean, I guess we're just gonna give him his moment right now. He got so much leeway with how much he was killing it in Game of Thrones. It's like, oh shit, it's a little homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel. And somebody's gonna try to take that and twist it, but it is what it is.
Peter Dinklage was the only dude in Game of Thrones, and I'm being 100 with you. He's the only person in Game of Thrones that if he died, I would have been upset, because you learn as you watch Game of Thrones, ain't nobody safe. Anybody was gonna die week to week. You never knew what it was. He would have been the only dude. If he died, I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I ain't watching no more. And I'm not just saying that.
Well, so then you telling me you I almost feel like you're saying you like the ending.
I didn't like the ending, but what I'm saying is Game of Thrones was 8 seasons, right? If they would have killed Dinklage's character off in season 3, I probably would not have been as excited to watch seasons 4 through 7, and then ultimately being let down by season 8. But if they would have killed Dinklage off, I wouldn't have been as thrilled to watch. You know, because there were certain characters when they killed them off, I was like, damn, they got that motherfucker. But I looked forward to scenes that he was in because he was so witty and he delivered his shit so fucking well. And regardless of who he was on screen with, he was a screen stealer. I like screen stealers. Make Don Cheadle motherfucking Superman. If you need a black nigga, make Don Cheadle Superman. He's one of my favorite scene-stealing motherfuckers in the history of the game. Make Don Cheadle Superman. He was Captain Planet. Make him Superman.
They just need to make Captain Planet a goddamn movie.
I wouldn't watch that bullshit. I mean, I never even liked the cartoon.
I would watch Don Cheadle as Captain Planet in a movie for sure.
I would watch Don Cheadle as anything and anything. He's great. He's a scene stealer. Like, I love the scene stealer.
The only thing I won't watch him as is War Machine. That's the only thing.
You know what? Samuel L. Jackson. I'm from Krypton, motherfucker.
Stop.
If you need a black dude to be Superman that bad,
bro, I just see Superman with a jerry curl now, spitting out Bible verses with a gun. What are you talking about right now? What are you saying?
And I will exact furious anger on niggas with green diamonds to try to, and they take that shit out. Like, how the fuck he gonna be all powerful, but then a little green rock is what makes him sit? Like, come on, dude. Like, in what world is that good, right? That's why I like when he got killed, because he had a guy that was working him out. Dude beat the dust off of this nigga. Like, he beat this nigga's ass so bad. Every panel in the comic book where he was hitting him, I was like, ooh, oh, shit, ooh. Until finally Superman didn't get up no more. And I loved it. It's one of my favorite comic books. Fuck Superman.
Doomsday will always be in my top 3 favorite characters of all time. So thank you for that. Let's move on to some other DC news. Original Joker director Todd Phillips reportedly returning for Joker 2. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers has officially signed Joker's co-writer and director for the next installment. The prospect of Phillips' return to the franchise has always been floating around. However, it was never confirmed until now. The big thing about this is that I'm glad this is happening, but there's still no confirmation on if Joaquin Phoenix will return to be the Joker once again. B. Walt, your thoughts?
You need Joaquin Phoenix. Either that or you're going to ask Jack Nicholson, or what's it? Yeah, just going to ask Jack to come in and do it. We need Joaquin.
You want to do a Joker verse?
We need Joaquin. Like, he was so good in that shit. As a matter of fact, I need to go back and watch it again because I haven't seen it in a while. Well, he was great in that shit. He was absolutely brilliant in that shit.
Did he win Best Actor? Did he get the Oscar?
See, I don't care about that Academy shit. None of that matters to me. It's how I feel when I watch the shit. And I was like, damn, this nigga is disturbed. Like, I was legit like, damn, like the longer you get into it, when you realize that he was basically daydreaming the whole shit with the black girl, like, nigga, like, this shit was perfect. Like, he was great. Like, man, like, that nigga was disturbed. And then he was such a good character. The way they developed him over the course of that movie and the way he played it, that, matter of fact, make Joaquin Superman and let him play Joker. He could do both. Anyway, like I was saying, he was so good, and just watching the guy gradually spiral and get worse and worse and worse and worse, that he made me start thinking about motherfuckers I grew up with, the regular nigga that wasn't all the way there. Where would he be 10 years from now if he was put in a situation as dire as Joker? Because that's what it was. It was a regular dude that was down on his luck, and he got beat down too many times, and he flipped the fuck out. And he did that shit perfectly. Like, fuck yeah, if he don't come back, I'm not watching. He gotta be. He was great.
In a way, I feel like Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix is, when it comes to this Joker shit, they on some Michael and Quincy Jones type shit. Like, they just make magic together. This was a brilliant movie. This is one of the best live action DC movies ever made, period. I said it before, it was like an indie film got like a major budget, and this is what you can have with a real story. And Joaquin is absolutely essential to anything that comes up with this franchise in the future. Todd Phillips is OG because it was his vision that got Joaquin there, but Scotty needed Jay and Jay needed Scotty. So yeah.
I have to watch this tonight when we get off.
So yeah, I'm excited that they're doing two, but unless Joaquin's there, it's null and void. It really is. All right, let's get into some gaming stuff. Bioshock 4, this is a rumor. Bioshock 4 might be a PlayStation exclusive, according to the link circulating online. Now, B-Wall, I don't want your opinion on this, but I know you didn't play the remaster copy collection I got for you because you don't really have good taste in games. So with that being said, you're the only other guy on this show, so I guess we'll get your opinion anyway. So
you know what? You don't need my motherfucking opinion because I was about to say the same shit. I didn't play the game. The pieces that I did play, I didn't like, you smart ass motherfucker. Right now. You forget who's controlling this panel. I will mute your motherfucking soliloquies in this bitch. Go ahead and try me, nigga. Mute. Come again. Mute. No, I didn't play the shit. It was a little too dated and I couldn't get through it. So, woo, Bioshock 4. I heard this really does actually really good too, which makes me want to go back and play it. But now I'm not gonna play it in spite of your ass. Fuck Bioshock 4, nigga. Fuck 3, 2, and 1.
Are you done ranting about a game that you didn't play?
Yes.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I don't really give a shit, to be honest, about Bioshock 4 or you playing it, because the original OG, Ken Levine, he isn't a part of this series anymore. And if someone else is, this isn't like Ridley Scott handing off aliens to James Cameron. Like, this is always a bad problem when the stepfather jumps in and tries to take over and run the household. So I'm not expecting much of 4. I think it is absolutely stupid for them to think it's going to be an exclusive for PlayStation. Bioshock was originally a PC title that got ported over to home console back in the day. That was the only way I got to play it, because I didn't do first persons and I didn't do PC. So it's really alienating the core audience and where they came from. But this is what happens when you don't have the father in the household. So good luck to whoever's making these calls, 2K Games, talking to you. So that's my take on that. Let's keep pushing. John Boyega says he's open to returning to the Star Wars franchise under these conditions. He's been frustrated with his role as Finn in the latest trilogy, and he says, "I'm open to the conversation as long as it is Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams and maybe someone else in their team involved. At that point, then it'd be a no-brainer." Quote Boyega. You're the Star Wars guy of us two. How you feel about Finn right now?
Like I said, I like the scene still as the movies, okay? So when you're talking about the Star Wars, the 3 sets of the trilogies and shit, my favorite actor in the first 3, which that shit in my opinion was trash. But my favorite actor in the first 3 was Samuel L. Jackson, right? Because whenever he was,
are you talking story-wise, the first 3?
Yeah. If we're going in chronological order, it's Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
Mace Windu.
Okay.
I mean, I just like him. You just got a presence. You got a feeling from his presence on screen, like, I'm gonna fuck some shit up. And then he eventually ended up getting killed, but he had that purple lightsaber, and you applied the Samuel L. Jackson characters to that guy, and I like, he was my favorite. When you're talking about the original trilogy, my favorite actor there was Harrison Ford, because he was a scene stealer. Like, you could talk all the shit about magic swords and shit and all the stuff that Luke could do, but let's be honest, the Skywalkers in general are a bunch of pussy ass niggas with powers, and they couldn't get their shit together, and that's why they had problems. There was a bunch of bitch ass niggas. Look, the strongest people in Star Wars was always the females, and always like they homies that was there to help. But the Skywalkers themselves, the men, they were some bitch niggas. You mean to tell me as Vader, you born from the midichlorians, which means you are in essence power incarnate, and you crying about shit? You crying about shit. Like, you crying about shit. Then his son comes along, and he spends half the movie staring up at the 2 sons and shit, like, oh, I want to leave this rat point. Like, shut the fuck up, you little bitch ass. Like, and I love Mark Hamill. That's my man. But for the majority of the second trilogy, it's like, I mean, it took 3 movies before Luke became that nigga. And it was like, oh my God, stop crying, you little bitch ass nigga. But Harrison Ford was that dude. Through those 3, he was that nigga. He was consistent. You know, hokey, whatever, would never replace a blaster, my nigga. You know, Harrison Ford was that guy. And then in the third one, the third set, John Boyega, in my opinion, was the scene stealer. Like, because you didn't really know. I mean, they teased him. Before the movies came out, they teased him. You seen this black dude. And motherfuckers like, oh shit, who was that? You know. But I like his story the best. I think when he was on screen, his energy was great. He's a good actor. I see him in a bunch of other shit anyway. But he was the scene stealer. He was always the guy that I cared most about, like, what's going to happen to him. Because Rey had powers. Her bitch ass foil, another Skywalker, mind you, cried through 3 movies. oh, should I kill my father? Should I not? Like he's a bitch ass nigga too. He had powers. You know what I'm saying? The dude that I cared the most about in the last few movies was Boyega and his homeboy that he originally met, the fighter pilot whose name escapes me right now.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, they seem I like him. So if he comes back, I will be with that. Like I mean, I care what happens to him, and I think they tease too much shit that could happen to him without showing it. Like everybody thought he gonna get with that little technician, the one girl. They're gonna get together, but you never really saw it. He might have force powers, but you never really saw it. He got to use the saber for like 2 seconds, the lightsaber for 2 seconds, and it's like, man, I want to see him turn into a I don't know, be a real pillar of the story. I would love to see him again. The Skywalkers is a bunch of bitches, man. The dudes, not the females. The females was G's. The females was G's. Princess Leia was a fucking gangster. Her mama was a gangster in the original one. But the dudes, man, they're a bunch of fucking punks. Oh, I can move things with my mind, but I don't know. It's like if I could do like I would never question myself. Do you understand? If I could do the shit they would do, I would never question myself. If that little green nigga was like, dude, do or do not. There is no try. Lift this motherfucking ship about this mud. I'm gonna be like, cool, I got it. No problem. I'm not gonna spend half the movie doubting myself. Like, fuck that. Like, them niggas was bitches. Like, let me have some fucking some Jedi shit. Let me be able to do any of that stuff. Any of it. I told you I ain't come here to work, man. You got me upset.
I think you should just look in the mirror and see why you're upset, because I did nothing but ask you a question.
I'm just saying, John Boyega, and the last three, John Boyega was my favorite because he was my Harrison Ford for the last three.
Well, that was my issue, and this is talking to you and other sort of Star Wars specialists. You know, there was just a lack of growth towards the second and third movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was kind of like at the end, it was like he was kind of, his arc was seen to be more of a throwaway. Like they just said, you know what, let's just put him with the other black girl, and you know, let's get this kiss out of the way and we can go home. And I feel like that a lot about some of J.J. Abrams' later movies and creations and things like that, where they're just rushing over the emotional beats, and it's kind of like this roller coaster, but it's not a fun one. It's kind of like the shit just is old and it's just decrepit, and it needs to be like they need to put some oil somewhere and tweak it. But I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I want him back, but I want him back with a proper story, like you know, growth within his arc, growth for that character.
The foundation of his story is strong.
But it's been strong for 3 movies though. It's been strong for 3 movies, and it's been nothing that's really been touched on. Like, I don't know how you felt. Well, I kind of do now. I kind of do. But the third one of this last trilogy, it just seemed like the whole thing's a blur to me. Like, it didn't feel like anything happened and everything did all at the same time.
They tried to squeeze that Palpatine storyline into it. It was like,
which I had an issue with, for real. That was.
I mean, I don't know if I don't keep up with I don't know if it's canon or not anymore. I guess it is if it's in the movies. But there was a storyline where eventually it came out that Palpatine kept coming back to life. He kept cloning himself over and over and over again. So that was there. But it was like the way they did it was really fucking stupid in the third. Like the third one, as a trilogy, as a whole, I thought the story was okay until the very end of the third one. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then separately, like as separate movies, I think they suck. But if you put them all together, it was like I could kind of see what they're trying to do, and they totally train wrecked it in the end. They train wrecked it in the end. You know.
Yeah, it just felt rushed.
Yeah, like, but the one shining, the one glimmer of hope for me that was John Boyega's character Finn. Like, what's gonna happen with Duke? But I also cared, like I said, what was gonna happen with Oscar Isaac's character too.
So. Right. So yeah, I definitely want him back, and he's a great actor. Like, to your point, like he's at like all the other BS Society. He's a really good actor. But he's also talking about Kathleen Kennedy, who I heard is about to be boo-boo. They're about to get her out of there. So there's some question if he's actually going to even get the opportunity to, if everything's going to come together to have him back. So we'll see. We'll see. Other Star Wars news, speaking of Skywalkers, Nightmare on Elm Street star Robert Englund, a.k.a. Freddy Krueger, has repeated a story about how he told Mark Hamill about Star Wars and that he should go to an audition. He, at the time, he says he told Mark Hamill, you know, George Lucas is doing another movie. You might be right for this. Freddy Krueger told Luke Skywalker to call his agent, and he got the part. His agent hates me telling this story because she insists that she already submitted him for that part. Mind you, said that they were living together at the same time. Apparently, one was on the couch living with the other. So who knows how much of this is really real and how much is somebody hiding? What do you think?
I really think that it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, who gives a shit? Nobody can play Luke Skywalker the way Mark Hamill did. We should all be happy that Mark Hamill became Luke Skywalker because he was great as Luke Skywalker.
He was great being a bitch, is what you're saying.
He was great playing a bitch-ass kid that took forever to realize that, you know. And again, that's not the actor's fault, right? It's the writing. It was like, how the fuck is he going to be such a fucking pussy? His father was a pussy too. Like, Vader turned into this evil nigga that was like, everybody was scared of him, but the truth of the matter is he was a punk. He was a punk. But, again, I digress. Mark Hamill as an actor playing Luke Skywalker was great. You couldn't get anybody else to do that. Just like Harrison Ford is motherfucking Han Solo. Like, you couldn't get anyone else to play that. So, for me, I don't give a shit how he became Luke. I'm just glad that it was him. Because think of all the other people at the time when they were coming up with Star Wars and they were casting all the other people who would have possibly been in the running for Luke. None of them niggas would have fit. The classic square jaw white boy at the time that they usually used to make a star in a movie in the early 80s and late 70s. None of them niggas would have been a good Luke.
No, you needed someone that came off timid. They came off like unsure of themselves and things of that nature.
That's the thing. If they would have written it a little bit differently, I don't mind unsure, but unsure doesn't necessarily mean a bitch. They spent too much time playing the bitch role.
Well, when did Star Wars come out? 77?
I believe that was, I don't know. 77.
It was before we got here, a few years before we got here. Mm-hmm. And so they probably started writing it in 75 at least. So with all that being said, I think just in terms of, narrative, script, and writing, I don't know if it was really evolved to the point it is right now to where they can really communicate that in any other way visually, like the unsureness of a lead character. Because even now, like, I don't know if you watch it, but The Magicians, that show.
I heard of it, haven't touched it though.
So that lead dude is a bitch. He's straight up a bitch. He wake up a bitch, he go to sleep a bitch. Like, I do not like him at all. Everything you were saying about Luke, I feel about him. And to me, he's the worst part of the entire series. I couldn't even finish watching the series because, like, he kept whimpering about everything and how everything was so hard. And this girl that was this beautiful brunette that his friend from childhood, he couldn't figure out how to deal with that relationship. It's like, yo, where you balls at, my nigga? Like, for real. Like, after like 6 or 7 episodes, like, you know, that shit gets old. So I get what you're saying, but even still, my point is bringing all that up is that it's still difficult to communicate that. And I agree with you. Mark Hamill was perfect at that time to be the hero that no one else could have been Luke. Just point blank, period. Point blank, period.
Well, I mean, we understand why the narrative went the way that it went, and we understand why they chose to play him, why they wrote him that way. We understand that. It's just that as a man, or even as a child when I first saw it, because the first one came out in 77, the second one came out in 80, and the third one I can't remember exactly the date that it came out. I think it was 83 or 84, probably 83. As a child, the first time I'm watching those, I'm 6 or 7, and I was like, why is this dude, like, even as a 7-year-old, I'm like, man, why is this dude always crying? Because my mama didn't let me do that. You know what I'm saying? Quit crying. I'm gonna give you something to cry about. I'm done crying, right? I'm through. But nobody ever said that to this nigga. Like, his Uncle Long was like, look, man, we work in this farm. I'm gonna need you to go into town and get some supplies. Well, where the fuck I gotta go get supplies? Like, nigga, you living here for free. I ain't even your real father. Do what I tell you to do. Like, nobody ever checked him. Nobody was like, Luke, stop being a bitch. Nobody said that to him, not one fucking time. And the same thing with Anakin. You around all these super powered people. Like, these niggas that can literally, like, they can do all this fucking amazing shit. You are learning how to do this amazing shit. And your complaint is, I don't get to sit on the council. What niggas just 50 years older than you? Shut the fuck up and learn your fucking role. Like, not everybody's Michael Jordan. Some people are Scottie Pippen and they got to learn to become superstars. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit that got on my nerves. It was like, come on. It's like, I get why they did it, because it borrows from the story of Darth Vader more so than Luke kind of borrows from, I can't remember the mythology that comes from, but it teaches you that they're basically teaching you that if you rush into things without being properly ready for them, you end up deviating and going that route and becoming that. I mean, that's the teaching. I can't remember the name of it, and maybe I'll go look it up after the fact. So I get why he went that route and became a dick. But there was other ways that he could have went that route and still became a dick. He could have became a dick without being a pussy. He killed a bunch of little kids. Like, he killed a bunch of little kids. Like, at that point, it was like, you know. But I will give old girl credit. In the third one, old girl was not a bitch. Old girl had abilities, and she just wanted to learn how they worked, and she was on it. She was trying. She's like, man, I know how to use this sword. I can move shit. I got telekinesis. I got all this shit. Like, just, I want to learn how to use it. She was into trying to use it. I feel like Luke, the moment you find out you can do some cool shit, figure out how to do it instead of being a bitch about it.
Yeah, but again, that goes back to the writing. The way Rey was written in these particularly the last movie, that wouldn't have happened 44 years ago.
Oh no! First of all, they wouldn't have made a female a hero like that. But
right.
What I'm saying is, I would have, me personally, even at 7 years old, I would have liked it a little better if they would have done it that way. And with going back to what the original conversation was about with John Boyega's character, I feel like they had opportunities to make him a full-fledged character, and they left him as a principal background kind of dude. It was like, what he's doing is important, but if you took
it ain't that important.
Based on the way he was displayed in the movie, if you took him out, the movie would still go. You know what I'm saying? They could have found somebody else to do. That's the part that I didn't like. He needed to, because he was important. Like, the shit that he did could have been very substantial. They just didn't really show it that well to me.
Yeah.
And he was doing wild shit. Like, nigga, he left the Empire He was saving all kinds of people. He didn't want to do it. Like, I mean, in my opinion, you could have really fleshed that shit out. You want to show somebody having an internal struggle, do it, do it. You could have done it.
I thought he was going to be the black Han Solo, and then he just ended up being black. So
yeah, I thought he was going to be the black Han Solo too. That's what I was waiting
on. So it's unfortunate. So I get where he's coming from. But we'll see. We'll see. Well, that is it for our topics for today. B. Walt, do you have any closing statements you want to give to the audience through the mask?
I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Look at your face. You wait to see what this is. Fuck Superman. From the bottom of my heart. Fuck him.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the show. You guys have a good night. We'll see you next week, 6:30 p.m. Monday, Pacific Standard Time. Black AZFUK, our Twitter, our Instagram, our websites, www.blackafhq.com. You can join us there through Zoom. You don't have to have a Zoom account. Content will be up this week on Moonshine TV. That is Moonshine with a Y TV, all one word, on YouTube. You can follow, share, subscribe, like, comment. You can talk shit about some of our content. We will talk shit back. It's a free country. We all have opinions, and we think ours is better than yours, and you probably do too. So we appreciate everybody, and peace out. Strength and blessings.
Hey, before we cut it though, I want to know, has anybody come back to you about the Yasuke comments?
Oh no, we shut the fuck up. They're done talking. We shut them up.
They know who the thugs is out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you can only protect shit for so long. Like, shit is shit. You know what I'm saying? So now that's ding ding, as they say in the streets. That is ding ding.
I guess that's the thing. That's the end of the show. Oh, one other thing before I let you formally cut us off.
One other thing.
Fuck Superman. Okay, I'm done.
Good night. Good night. You cut the recording, please. Por favor.
Right after I say fuck Superman. One more time.
Brotherhood blank approaching conversation kinetically about fiction. This is Blackest.